Hello everyone, it's Terry Ryder from hotspotting.com.au. At this time of the week, every week, I provide a summary of the main stories that have been around this week impacting on real estate markets. We actually have a free weekly newsletter which is called The Week in Real Estate, or The Wire for short, in which we summarise the 5 main stories that we think have been most important in terms of impact on real estate across Australia. If you're not getting it, it's free, and you can easily sign up for it by going to the hotspotting.com.au website and clicking on the link on the home page, and it'll take you through to signing up for the free week in real estate service. Major story around this week comes from research from finder.com.au, who surveyed homeowners with a mortgage and to determine how many of them were asking for an interest rate discount from their lenders and how many were actually successful with that. And it found that about 75% of those who ask for an interest rate cut from their lenders actually get one. But almost half of people that they surveyed actually didn't ask. And if you don't ask, you're not going to get one. And the point I think that they made with this research that people are missing out on significant savings, because even a reduction of 0.2 or 0.3 percentage points in the interest rate that you're paying can result in savings of tens of thousands of dollars over the life of the loan. So it's worth asking for. We always have a quote of the week in each edition of the Week in Real Estate, and the quote of the week this week relates to that particular story, and it comes from Bessie Hassan, who's a money expert at finder.com.au, and she was saying that for a lot of people it's a very daunting conversation to have, as there's that chance of rejection. But she says, if you don't ask, you won't get it. So it's worth asking, as you could save tens of thousands of dollars. Another one of our stories this week comes from a report from Bankwest, which highlights the increase in the number of first home buyers in the market. According to the Bankwest report, the number of first home buyers that are out there buying at the moment is the highest it's been since the middle of 2015. At Hotspotting, we believe that the reason for the increase in first home buyer activity relates to primarily incentives that are being provided by the 2 biggest states, New South Wales and Victoria, which are both providing attractive incentives for first home buyers, stamp duty concessions and grants primarily. So it's a reasonably good time, with interest rates as low as they are as well, for first home buyers to be looking, notwithstanding the high level of prices in some cities, particularly in Sydney. Another story that was out and about this week came from the listed property developer Jennings, talking about their impressions of where the markets are at and what they expect to be happening, particularly in the biggest cities, Sydney and Melbourne. The CEO of Jennings, Peter Summers, says that while he fully expects the rate of price growth to moderate in Sydney, which we're already seeing, and in Melbourne, which we're yet to see, but we'll probably see in 2018, he says while he expects the rate of price growth to moderate, he doesn't expect there to be any price decline. In fact, what he said in the article that we're quoting in this week's edition of the Week in Real Estate, anytime you get a sustained period of that strength in prices, you would expect that the growth rate would moderate, but that doesn't mean we think markets will go backwards. We don't think that at all. And at hotspotting.com.au, we tend to agree. I think we're going to see what we saw at the end of the last major boom, which was a true national boom back in the early part of the century after 2003. In 2004, what we saw, the rate of price growth just dropped back down to 0. There wasn't any major evidence of any price decline. We're expecting something similar this time around for Sydney. But meanwhile, we're seeing the rate of price growth actually picking up in some cities, notably in Canberra and in Hobart, and we're seeing recovery in Perth, which has been going backwards for most of the last 4 years. So we've got all these different scenarios playing out around Australia. And the Jennings CEO, Peter Summers, was talking primarily about the 2 biggest cities. There's also a couple of stories in this week's edition of the Week in Real Estate which relate to underlying economic factors. The Reserve Bank has made it known that they're feeling a lot more confident in their economic outlook for Australia than they were at the start of the year. They see economic growth slowly gaining momentum, and they have some expectation, according to the Governor of the Reserve Bank, Philip Lowe, that sometime in the next 1 to 2 years they may have to lift interest rates, but they don't foresee any interest rate rises of the official rate, at least anytime soon. And the other story, which is an underlying economic story which has impact on real estate, was the figures for job advertisements from Seek Employment, the online website Seek, which highlights the number of jobs that are out there, and saying that job ads have risen in the last 12 months 16% compared with the same time last year. And of the 29 industries that they track on that website, 28 have experienced year-on-year growth. And that's a very positive thing for real estate, because when the jobs market is growing, when unemployment is falling, people feel confident about their jobs. They're more likely to be out there buying real estate. So those are the highlights this week in this week's edition of The Week in Real Estate, which we send out on Saturday morning to all subscribers. If you're not getting it, you can very easily sign up for it. It's a free service. So you go to the hotspotting.com.au website. There's a link on the homepage that you can click on and put in your details and get that free weekly service. It's a great way to stay informed very quickly and easily about the main stories that are out there each week that impact on real estate, and therefore the decisions that you might make as a home buyer or as a real estate investor. That's all for now. Terry Ryder from hotspotting.com.au. Bye for now.